just coming in right now. The Prime Minister has confirmed via ISRO that it's been a successful launch of the GSLV, the South Asian satellite. The Prime Minister has said, and I quote him now, "I congratulate the team of scientists who worked hard for the successful launch of the South Asia satellite. We are very, very proud of them." So there you go, confirmation for you that the successful launch has happened. That satellite that was just launched minutes ago is a successful one. My colleague Rishabh Gulati joins us for more on this. Rishabh, so we can now confirm that the South Asian satellite has undergone a successful launch.
Yes, Athar, in fact, even bigger news. This is what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tweeted out. And this is something out of the box. He says within a few minutes at 5:30 p.m., all the leaders, including Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bhutan, Tshering Tobgay, as well as Abdulla, Yameen, Prime Minister Prachanda of Nepal, and Sirisena, Maithripala of the President of Sri Lanka, will all be holding a historic first ever joint video conferencing session within a few minutes. That explains, Athar, a lot of the secrecy behind this launch in Sriharikota, where the media for the first time was not allowed to enter the launch building while the launch was taking place. The Prime Minister says, and I repeat, I congratulate the team of scientists who worked hard for the successful launch of the South Asia satellite. We are very proud of them. The historic occasion has been made better with a surprise. We have the leaders of South Asian nations joining us in celebrating this launch. I welcome President Ashraf Ghani, PM Hasina, PM Tobgay, Abdulla, Yameen, PM Prachanda, and the President Maithripala. All the leaders will take part and address the program via video conferencing at 5:30 p.m. this evening. The support and presence of these leaders will add even more joy in the hearts and minds in our region. We are a united family of South Asian countries, united in our pursuit of peace, progress and prosperity of our region and entire humankind. This is a big rabbit out of the hat that has been pulled out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You are seeing this reported first on NewsX. And of course, the entire leadership of South Asia, other than Nawaz Sharif, has been invited and will be presenting this press conference. A very signal statement is going to be made in a few minutes from now.
Clearly, the isolation of Pakistan within Saarc seems to be complete now with that tweet. And of course, as Rishabh was telling us, perhaps the reason why such secrecy was maintained about the launch, very few minutes left before the South Asian leaders now, as confirmed by Prime Minister Modi's tweet, will be addressing a joint press conference via video conference to speak about this, to speak about the benefits of such a launch and how beneficial it will be not just to India, but all our Saarc partners, sans Pakistan, which clearly has shot itself in the foot by trying to exclude and did exclude themselves from this historic occasion. The Prime Minister has called it a historic event, and he has also told everyone who's listening and watching that the leaders of South Asia, Saarc countries, including leaders of Maldives, Sri Lanka, Nepal, as well as Afghanistan, will be holding a joint video conference to talk about the launch, to talk about the benefits that will be accrued really for not just for India, but also for the other countries mentioned right now. Rishabh, do we know exactly when the video conference will take place? The tweet says in a couple of moments. I believe it's not too far now.
We're expecting this, Athar, to happen in just a few minutes from now. And it is a complete rabbit out of the hat by the Indian establishment once again. We've seen this Prime Minister likes doing things this way. We've seen the government that likes doing things this way. We all remember the drop-in on the way back to Pakistan when he went to Nawaz Sharif's house as an effort that was made. But now this is a surprise. It puts a lot of the pieces together. We've been wondering, Athar, during the day. We are generally expected to see the ISRO team as they launch their satellite. You see the cheering, you see the claps as they happen. But that's not happened this time. And if you're wondering why, this is exactly why. You're going to have 6 of the state leaders, the government heads of state, the heads of government from 6 countries in South Asia, all together on one platform in just a few minutes from now. So Narendra Modi, Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, Sheikh Hasina of Bangladesh, Tshering Tobgay from Bhutan, Abdulla, Yameen, Prachanda from Nepal, and President Maithripala Sirisena, all of them, with the President of Lanka, all of them are going to be on a single platform via video conferencing. And that is as stellar a statement as you can make in diplomacy. You can presume that all of them have been live watching the satellite launch. And now they're going to address not the people of India alone, Athar. They will be addressing their people back home, because this same teleconferencing is going to be broadcast by the state broadcasters in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, in Bangladesh, in Bhutan. So this is going to be telecast all across South Asia. You're looking at 1.6 billion people that are potentially going to have access to this teleconference, and not the population in Pakistan, because Pakistan, after all the veto stunts it does and has done in Saarc, decided to opt out of this one for their own, of course, political and diplomatic interests. And today they will feel that isolation, everyone together on one podium, but not Nawaz Sharif. If this gets reported across the border, Athar, this is as stellar a statement as one can possibly make.
Clearly, we don't have to wait for too long now, as the Prime Minister's tweet has confirmed. The Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, the President of Maldives, Abdulla, Yameen, the Sri Lankan President, the Nepalese Prime Minister, and the Afghan President, all along with the Indian Prime Minister, will be addressing a joint video conference. And as my colleague was telling you right now, it will not just be broadcast to viewers in India, but also state broadcasters in these countries, except for Pakistan, will be witness to this historic occasion, as the Prime Minister calls it. This is a new step, really a giant step, if you will, a leap into the next century of modern communication satellite technology, which will benefit all of these above-mentioned countries, except for Pakistan. Remember, they were the ones who chose to exclude themselves out of this historic launch of the satellite, the South Asian satellite as it's now known. It'll help all of the countries, above-mentioned countries, except for Pakistan, in various fields of telemedicine, telecommunications, direct-to-home services, education, and whatever else comes with the technology that is now. Let's just now cut live to that video conference.
Excellencies, the Presidents of Afghanistan and Sri Lanka,
Excellency, President of Maldives, who we expect to join us shortly. Excellencies, the Prime Ministers of Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. Today, commence a new chapter of collaboration. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you, Excellencies, to this joint video conference to mark the launch of the South Asia satellite. To start the proceedings, we will first connect with the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, where Secretary Department of Space Government of India, Shri Kiran Kumar, is standing by to briefly tell us about the launch. Over to Sriharikota and Secretary Space to you.
Good evening to all of you. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and honorable leaders of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. I am reporting on behalf of Indian Space Research Organization from the Spaceport of India at Sriharikota that we have just transported South Asia satellite, a communication satellite from Earth to geostationary transfer orbit using our geostationary launch vehicle Mark II that makes use of indigenously developed cryogenic engine. The satellite operations and control will be carried out from our master control facility Hasina, and in the coming few weeks, the satellite will reach its destination of the geostationary orbit. You may like to see a video glimpse of this launch. Thank you.
Down Space Center, the Spaceport of India. Launch of GSLV F-09 with South Asia satellite on board is the 11th flight of GSLV. We are a few seconds from the launch now.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, 2, 3, 4,
Heat shield, which protects the satellite during the atmospheric phase of flight, is expected to be separated anytime from now. The nominal time of separation is around 228 seconds. Heat shield has been separated at an altitude of 115 kilometers. The upper cryogenic stage is now a few seconds from its shut-off. The shut-off command has been issued, and 15 seconds from now, we will have the separation of the South Asia satellite, which should happen in the next 13 to 14 seconds now. We are just awaiting. South Asia satellite has been successfully separated, and it has been injected in its intended geosynchronous transfer orbit. With this, GSLV F-09 South Asia satellite mission has been successfully accomplished.
His Excellency President Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina ji of Bangladesh, His Excellency Prime Minister Tshering Tobgay of Bhutan, His Excellency President Abdulla Yameen of Maldives, His Excellency Prime Minister Pushpakamal ji, Nepal, His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena ji, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. Excellencies, today is a historic day for South Asia, a day without precedence. 2 years ago, India made a promise to extend the advanced space technology for the cause of growth and prosperity of our brothers and sisters in South Asia. The successful launch of the South Asia satellite marks the fulfillment of that. With this launch, we have started a journey to build the most advanced frontier of our partnership. With its position high in the sky, this symbol of South Asian cooperation would meet the aspirations of economic progress of more than 1.5 billion people in our region, and extend our close links into outer space. Excellencies, I am immensely grateful to my fellow leaders from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Maldives, and Sri Lanka for joining me today to celebrate this launch. I also deeply appreciate the strong and valuable support extended by your governments, without which this project would not have been possible. Our coming together is a sign of our unshakable resolve to place the needs of our peoples in the forefront. It shows that our collective choices for our citizens will bring us together for cooperation, not conflict. Development, not destruction. And prosperity, not poverty. Excellency, this is first of its kind project in South Asia. And through this project, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and India will together achieve effective communication, better governance, better banking services, and better education in remote areas, more predictable weather forecasting, and efficient resource mapping, linking people with top-end medical services through telemedicine and a quick response to natural disasters. Space technology will touch the lives of our people in the region. The satellite will provide services specific to individual countries as per their own needs and priorities, as also common services. In achieving this goal, I congratulate the space science fraternity of India, and in particularly the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. The ISRO team had led from the front in developing the South as per the region's requirement and flawlessly launching it. Excellencies, as governments, our most important task is to secure growth, development, and peace for our people and communities. And I am convinced that when we join hands and mutually share the fruits of knowledge, technology, and growth, we can speed up our development and prosperity. I thank you all for your presence and congratulate you once again in our shared success. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pradhan Mantri ji, sir. Indeed, cooperation. Excellencies, we now move to Kabul, from where His Excellency Dr. Ashraf Ghani, the President of Afghanistan, is requested to address us. Excellency, the President of Afghanistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Prime Minister, distinguished leaders of Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, today marks the day where South Asia moves from speaking about the desirability of regional integration to making it a reality. The gap between talk and action is bridged today. The imperative of regional cooperation is changed to the reality. The advantages of cooperation outweigh the advantages of competition, and in the world of cooperation, we have to win a world for the poor, for the excluded, for the deprived. The second imperative that South Asia faces is one of dealing with natural disaster management. We unfortunately have the label, the least economically integrated region of the world, and today is a step to overcome that label and take the steps by being a pioneer to manage natural disaster, to ensure that our people, particularly in the remotest parts of our countries, are not victims, but agents, and citizen-centered development is rendered possible. Together, we know that nature does not know political boundaries, and the pioneering effort of India in making our cooperation possible gives us an immense advantage in containing our fragmented efforts to coordinated efforts. So it's an extremely important step in knowing nature, in knowing its patterns, and in preparing the human community in each of our locations, in the South Asian community, where 1 billion ties, 1.5 billion ties bind us together towards prosperity. And the third issue is the development imperative. Development in our region must become citizen-centered, as all of us are trying. From telemedication to teleeducation, to particularly what today's initiative, I congratulate you, Mr. Prime Minister, is child-centered. It's woman-centered, it's poor-centered. And this means that our efforts to make government accessible, to launch e-governance, not only to launch it, but to expand it and coordinate it, is a giant step. So in conclusion, again, Mr. Prime Minister, I'd like to congratulate my fellow leaders, to thank you for relentlessly pushing what you started 2 years ago to completion, and to congratulate the Indian scientists in ISRO in particular. The world should notice South Asia has taken a giant step today towards regional cooperation, and our citizens will be much better together. And we look forward to the next steps for the realization of other goals of regional cooperation. If cooperation through land is not possible, it's certainly possible through the sky. And we are confident that we will integrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for those words. Citizen-centric development is indeed the path for the region to move ahead. Excellencies, our next capital is Dhaka. I request Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, to please deliver her remarks. Excellency, you have the floor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am very happy to be able to talk to you again, Excellency, the Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. I am also happy to share this platform today with my esteemed colleagues from Afghanistan, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Modi ji and the Government of India for extending warm hospitality to me and my delegation during my state visit from 7th to 10th last month. The bilateral talks and documents signed during the visit demonstrate the depth and dimension of our relationship. Today's auspicious occasion, I congratulate you and the Government of India for successful launching of South Asia satellite. I am glad that just a few days ago we have signed orbital frequency agreement for cooperation in South Asia satellite. I strongly believe that the betterment of the people of South Asian region depends on fruitful engagement in various fields of cooperation between the countries of this region. We want to cooperate with all countries for creating an area of peace in South Asia where we can live as good neighbors and pursue constructive policies for the benefit of our peoples as envisioned by our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Excellencies, Bangladesh and India have jointly achieved many successes in connecting our countries and the region. Now, I am confident that launching of this satellite will change the face of South Asia. With this, we have expanded our connectivity from land, water, and air to space. I am sure that cooperation in space will definitely lead us to the ambitious technological enhancement for the benefit of the region. I also hope that the South Asian satellite will open up a new horizon of cooperation in this particular area in the coming days. Excellencies, I wish all of you good health, happiness, and long life, and the friendly people of this region peace, progress, and prosperity. I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency, the Prime Minister. Excellencies, we now move to Thimphu, from where I invite His Excellency Tshering Tobgay, the Prime Minister of Bhutan, for his statement on this occasion. Excellency, please.
Your Excellencies, the launch of the South Asia satellite today is an historic moment for the world. It is historic because this is the first time that a country has launched a satellite for the free use of its neighbors. The launch of this satellite is an impressive milestone in the history of the world, one that ushers in a new era of regional cooperation. I congratulate the government and the people of India for successfully launching this important satellite and would like to offer my heartfelt thanks to their visionary leader, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, for dedicating it to the common good, to the common progress of all our countries in the South Asia region. The global economy is increasingly being driven by satellite services. They are used extensively to increase efficiency, expand connectivity, and improve productivity. In fact, satellite-based communications have now become indispensable in every sector of activity in both the private and public spheres of our lives. That's why the launch of this satellite, our satellite, augurs well for our region. This is especially beneficial for small countries like Bhutan, countries that have neither the technical know-how nor the resources to launch their own satellites. In Bhutan, the services rendered by this satellite will expand broadcasting and communications, advance education and telemedicine, improve land management and urban planning, enhance environmental management and weather forecasting, and better equip us to fight natural disasters. In short, this satellite will help improve the happiness and well-being of our people. The South Asia satellite will also yield regional benefits, better management of our forests and watersheds. In addition, the satellite will boost regional cooperation, encourage collaboration, and provide a platform to address common challenges together. This generous gift from India is an example of true friendship and cooperation, and it is bound to bring about the common progress and development of our region. I thank you, Honorable Prime Minister of India, the government, and the people of India for this very precious gift. Tashi Dile.
Thank you very much, Excellency. We now move to Maldives, from where I would like to request His Excellency Mr. Abdulla Yameen, the President of Maldives, to deliver his response. Excellency, welcome to you. Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency Prime Minister Modi, distinguished heads of state and government, a very good evening to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this auspicious occasion to celebrate the successful launching of the South Asia satellite. On behalf of the government and the people of Maldives, I wish to extend sincere gratitude to you, Excellency Prime Minister Modi, and the people of India for this very special gift to our region. The launching of this satellite signifies India's neighborhood first policy and the vision and commitment of Prime Minister Modi towards the development and prosperity of the South Asia region. In November 2014, during the 18th Saarc summit, when Prime Minister Modi announced the launching of the South Asia satellite, the people of Maldives and I accepted the priceless gift, as I was fully convinced that it would help address a host of issues facing the region and help strengthen people-to-people linkages. This satellite will, in no doubt, serve to improve the lives of the people of South Asia, as it extends benefits in the areas of telecom, telemed, teleeducation, mapping of natural resources, and disaster management support. Excellencies, I strongly believe that we as Saarc member states must work towards the common good of all through greater trade and economic investment between our countries. As we focus on our growth and regional cooperation, we must work hand in hand towards eliminating the challenges and obstacles constraining us. This regional milestone, I would like to reaffirm the Maldives' commitment towards the betterment and prosperity of the region. I reiterate the unwavering commitment and determination of Maldives to work with all our South Asian neighbors towards greater good of all. It is my sincere hope that we be able to put aside our differences and work together as an organization that can fulfill our hopes and aspirations. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Let me once again express sincere gratitude to you, Prime Minister Modi, and call upon all our South Asian friends to seize this opportunity to reinvigorate our efforts with added impetus to help realize the dreams and aspirations of our peoples. Wish you all very well, Excellencies.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Our focus now shifts to Kathmandu, from where I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Pushpakamal Dahal for his address. Excellency, please.
Prime Minister Modi ji and Head of State and Government of South Asian country, Namaskar to everybody. We are glad to learn that the South Asia satellite has been launched just a while ago. We extend hearty congratulations to Prime Minister Modi ji as well as to the Government of India on this success and express our most sincere thanks for your thoughtfulness to help South Asian neighbors benefit from the progress India has achieved in the field of science and technology. This is a testimony to South Asia becoming self-reliant in space science. We are confident that this would enhance connectivity among South Asian countries. Connectivity is key to the development. Nepal looks forward to making best use of this facility. We expect that this would be helpful in the areas of telemedicine, teleeducation, meteorology, scientific research, and disaster management. It would also be helpful in providing communication service in the mountainous and remote hilly regions of Nepal. We believe that the cooperation from India would help develop Nepal's human resources in this field. I would also like to extend best wishes for the future space program of the Government of India. I want to extend my congratulations. Thank you to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. From up north, we now move to south, where our next stop is Sri Lanka. From there, I would like to invite His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, the President of Sri Lanka, to address
by today's launch. The South Asia satellite tells us that even the sky is not the limit when it comes to regional cooperation among like-minded countries. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas can be the guiding light for action and cooperation in South Asia, and a befitting way for us to achieve our shared priorities of economic prosperity for our people. And in this, we will find a strong and committed partner in India that truly believes in the strength of this choice and principle. Let me once again thank you all for joining me today to celebrate the launch of South Asia satellite, and also your strong and continuous support in making this vision a reality. In the end, I also wish all of us more such celebrations where we can rejoice in success of our common and collective efforts. All of us more such celebrations where we can rejoice in success of our common and collective efforts for regional growth and prosperity. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Excellencies, this brings us to the close of this joint video conference. I would like to thank our very distinguished guests and excellencies for joining in. Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. That's the joint video conference being addressed by the heads of the government, really, for all SAARC countries, excluding Pakistan. And the Prime Minister, of course, giving out the closing keynote address there. Let's go across to Rishabh, my colleague, joining us for more on this. Rishabh, clearly, it's a huge statement being made today by all the SAARC nations, excluding Pakistan. And today, of course, if they have any sane behavior amongst the people who rule that country, they would have seen this and they would have realized what they're missing.
Look, sometimes diplomacy that works behind the scenes has to come out in the public and be not so subtle. So not just the government establishment, but the people of Pakistan, the journalists in Pakistan, the opinion makers in Pakistan, pointed out such strong visualization of how Pakistan is completely cut off from South Asia. For years, for decades, ever since SAARC was founded, Athar, every time the entire SAARC process has been hijacked by veto after veto from Pakistan. You want to have interconnected railways, Pak vetoes it. You want to have a strong position on terror, Pak vetoes it. You want to have interconnected roadways, water, electricity, everything vetoed by Pakistan. And a lot of the countries, some of whom have already been jaded by Pakistan's diplomacy, some of those who, like Bangladesh and Afghanistan, who've been hit brutally by Pakistani terror, have all come together under one banner which has been provided by Narendra Modi, and they have sent out a stellar statement. It's an unignorable statement, and we'll be getting reactions from Pakistan as we speak. An unignorable statement has been put out. It is not a joke on how carefully this has been planned. It has been worked out to the last detail. We were discussing earlier, Athar, how for the first time journalists were not allowed into ISRO, one would presume, because they didn't want information of this plan to be leaked out. We were waiting in anticipation. You saw a mammoth build-up of this on NewsX from 4 o'clock onwards. We were waiting in anticipation for this launch that happened. Pretty much as soon as the launch finished, a few minutes later, Narendra Modi comes out and gives us his tweet. And I remember, Athar, when he sent out that tweet about visiting Nawaz Sharif in Pakistan, even as journalists, we had to take a double take and said, hang on, is he suggesting what we think he's suggesting? That 6 heads of government are going to be live together, and that's exactly what happened. Now, you heard all of them speak out about Sabka Saath in South Asia. It's a narrative that has been put out. ISRO will now be working with countries that don't even have or aspire to have a space agency. These countries would have had to buy from foreign agencies satellite coverage. They would have to buy the things that we in India take for granted. With the Inside series, because it's been happening for decades. ISRO puts out satellite after satellite with almost precision efficiency. But for countries like Nepal, where disaster management is a very serious concern, for Bangladesh, where flooding is a serious and an annual concern, it's going to have a practical application almost immediately. But more importantly, it is the messaging of with us or against us that has been put out. A path of development in a collective environment, not as a hegemon, but a collective that has been put out versus the pariah that is standing out like a sore thumb today. And let this not be lost on the people of Pakistan, even if the government of Pakistan plays dumb.
All right, there you go. Clear messaging today, effective messaging that cannot be ignored by Pakistan. Clearly, this is larger than what Pakistan imagined it could have become, and it has. Participation from heads of government of all SAARC countries, except, of course, Pakistan. And the fact, as my colleague was just pointing out right now, even countries like Maldives and others who don't really aspire to have satellite programs of their own will now benefit from India's participation, India's Space Research Organization, ISRO's participation. They will, in fact, give out all the information, the technical know-how of how to actually use this information, this technology, for the benefit in a truly civilian sense, really, to try and predict weather patterns, to try and help with rescue operations, to try and help with surveillance, of course. That's one part of it that cannot be ignored. But the Prime Minister, of course, pulling off what is no less than a coup in South Asia, along with all member SAARC countries except for Pakistan. And speaking of Pakistan, let's go across now to Arsalan Bhatti, who joins us. He's a senior journalist in Pakistan on the phone line. Mr. Bhatti, today, in fact, he's live via Skype. Mr. Bhatti, today, all SAARC countries, with the only exception being Pakistan, participating willfully and gleefully in a program, in a satellite launch that will benefit everyone. Don't you think Pakistan has somehow shot itself in the foot by being the only SAARC country which was not part of this historic day and historic opportunity?
Pay for India only because it has launched GSAT 09 satellite, I think. That I was watching a few minutes back different Indian channels, and it was Prime Minister Modi was there asking every Prime Minister and thanking them.
Yes.
But it is unfortunate that Pakistan was not on it. This is very right. But let's go back a little bit. What was happening between India and Pakistan? There is no trust. There is no trust between the two countries. Everybody was. Both the countries are blaming each other.
Both are neighbors, but not behaving like neighbors. This is not alone Pakistan. This is not alone India. I'm saying that both should sit together and resolve all the issues so that it should be resolved. They will fight, not fight against militarily.
Mr. Bhatti, that's all well. Let me just ask you a simple question. Don't you think that talks will only go on when Pakistan shows really a need, or at least take some steps that it is interested in development otherwise? Every time India proposes a railroad link, Pakistan opposes it. We propose a sort of multilateral technological programs, Pakistan opposes it. Now, everyone else in the SAARC combine has benefited. Every head of government was there present. We have differences with Sri Lanka also. We have differences with Bangladesh and so many issues. When it comes to such programs, we put our differences aside and work for the greater good. It does seem like Pakistan is just obsessed with one particular part of our relationship, and that is making sure it's left out of the other developmental projects. So do you think that's a reality?
Let me put this thing straight, that when you want to discuss anything or any issue with any other person, there should no prerequisites. You should sit on the table unconditionally. Then the conditions come from both the sides. What was going on? What was going to happen? What was the discussion? Then it is when.
No, but it was Pakistan that opted out of it, Mr. Bhatti. It was Pakistan that opted out of it. It wasn't on India's doing. Pakistan opted out willingly.
Let me talk. I am coming to that point. If Pakistan opted out from talks or opted out today, what you said is the historic day. Your Prime Minister said. I am saying that if the conditions are not so conducive for Pakistan, how could it went into that? How could it join that satellite? If same is the case with India, same is the case with Afghanistan, same is the case with Bhutan, Nepal, and Bangladesh. If the conditions are not good, how could a Prime Minister goes against the will of the people? Today, the will of the people, rather majority in Pakistan, was not conducive that we should have such kind of relations with India.
No, Mr. Bhatti, you do a very good job of defending Pakistan, but here are the facts. Let me just put out the facts. India has ongoing problems on many levels with Nepal. Recently, we believe that our relationship was perhaps touching the lowest of the low ebbs. Still, Nepal decided to participate, not only participate, but gave credit to India where it was due. We have the Teesta Waters Treaty ongoing with Bangladesh. Still, the Bangladeshi Prime Minister came in. We have the Tamil Nadu fishermen issue with Sri Lanka. Still, they participated. We have multiple issues there with all of these countries, but they all decided to keep that aside for the greater good, for a larger leap into modern satellite technology, all except Pakistan. Don't you think there's a pattern here? Countries who believe that the future is what going together and not exclusivity were there today. The only country there wasn't was Pakistan.
Why did you ever think about that? Why the India has so many problems with every neighbor?
But we work we still work together, sir. We work together with Sri Lanka, with Nepal, with Bangladesh. We are on the same platform today. Joint press conference, joint video conference. Everyone except your country.
Let me speak. I am coming to that point, my dear. If India has so many problems with so many countries, what was going on with Pakistan? Your channels are claiming, every leader is against Pakistan. They were speaking against Pakistan. How could Pakistan Prime Minister join this satellite conversation? There is nothing of the sort.
No, forget the satellite conversation, sir. It's not about the satellite conversation. It's about the program itself. Pakistan was not included because Pakistan wanted to be excluded. They want to exclude themselves from making a generational leap into satellite technology that will benefit your country as well.
What benefits you are giving to Pakistan through this satellite? Just tell me one benefit, single line benefit. Just tell me one.
Sir, this is a satellite that will improve telemedicine, it will improve telecommunications, it will help navigate natural disasters, it will help navigate any suspicious activity wherever insurgency hit areas, even in your country. Now, don't you think those are enough benefits to go by?
This is, what do you said, suspicious activities. This satellite is for very much was sent in the space for these kind of things. You are right, very much right. In my opinion, if such a problem occurred, why not your Prime Minister just give one single call to our Prime Minister for joining? There is no call received. There is nothing of the sort, no invitation.
So we are not going to go out of our way to give you a gift. When we talked about this, Pakistan chose to exclude itself. Like I keep saying, this was supposed to be a Saarc satellite. It was named or renamed the South Asian satellite only because Pakistan chose to walk out. India didn't force Pakistan to walk out. It chose to do so.
Nobody can force nobody to walk out because it's our
That's exactly what I'm saying. It was Pakistan's own decision, sir.
All right. What you said, I have no knowledge about it, what Pakistan was excluding. But when I checked this from the Foreign Office, they said that we had not received any invitation, anything of the sort, even a single call from India to join the satellite. Now, what can you say that on it? Is it true?
No, Mr. Bhatti, stop acting like a friend who's basically fallen afoot and saying, "Tusi naraz ho gaye, asi naraz ho gaye, aur hum nahi avange." This is not how exactly it works. Just because you want an additional gift handed on a platter, it doesn't work like that. This is international diplomacy, sir.
We don't want platter or what you said. Asi kadi nahi rusde. Asi zinda de log hain, asi nahi rustange, asi nahi naraz honde.
But that's the attitude, sir. You're saying no phone call was given, no phone call came. The phone call doesn't come on its own, sir. You have to participate in a collective manner. That's what all these heads of governments have done today, and hence they were part of the launching activity. Pakistan chose to play the part of the one who objected, and that's why you weren't there. I'm only asking you, in hindsight, since hindsight is 2020, do you believe the Pakistani establishment will realize they're missing out on a good thing here?
Pardon?
Would you say in hindsight, given the fact that all of these SAARC countries are on board, including the ones India has multiple problems with, excluding Pakistan, do you believe that in hindsight Pakistan and the people who shape policy in Pakistan will realize they're missing out on a huge thing here? It's a leap into the next generation of satellite technology.
I don't know what actually your people are thinking on the satellite, but one thing should be clear in Indian mind, that Pakistan never wanted to be out of SAARC. Pakistan never wanted in the past, Pakistan never wants in future. Because Pakistan believe in unanimity of decisions. Pakistan wants we should sit together. Everybody in Pakistan wants good relations with their neighbors. But as India and Pakistan are two neighbors, you can't change the neighbors. This is my point. But you should, both the neighbors, I am saying that Pakistan and India should behave like neighbors. If anything goes wrong in India, the straight blame is on Pakistan, and if in Pakistan the straight blame is on India. Why this is so happen? Why not Nepal? Why not Bhutan? Why not Afghanistan?
Well, that's because the evidence points to Pakistan, sir, in more cases than one. The evidence clearly points towards Pakistan, and hence Pakistan's name is being dragged in. It's not because we have, something against Pakistan. It's because the evidence points to Pakistan, hence Pakistan's name is dragged in. Again, I'm asking you, sir, and going back to my simple question, sir, don't you believe that an organization, a forum like Saarc, where the only country that's missing out on technological advances that could help your own people is Pakistan through its behavior and its reluctance to understand that we go forward together. Otherwise, there's no future.
I am your long question, but I am saying it. I'll answer it in one line that what Pakistan was doing was the will of the people. Pakistan government can't go against the will of the people. If there is no will, that we should have good...
Mr. Bhatti, if the will of the people is to be excluded from the march towards technological innovation, then I don't know what to say, really. Stay with us. We have Shashank, former diplomat, on the phone line as well. Shashank, the fact that the only Saarc country that was excluded from today's press conference and the launch itself today being Pakistan would give us an indication that this innovative diplomacy by the Prime Minister and the government seems to be working, or at least in the Saarc combine, Pakistan seems to be isolated, if not on the world stage in the larger sense.
Well, there are two aspects. One is that when Asian countries wanted to set up the main satellite centers, then China had not agreed that it should be only one center in India. And so it was finally agreed that there could be two centers, one in India and one in China. Secondly, China is developing the highway corridor through Pakistan, which is called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which of course also includes a lot of energy projects. Now what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done, he has developed a digital highway, and he wants the connectivity through the modern technology and digital connectivity and cyber connectivity. So this perhaps is not immediately acceptable to Pakistan, because they feel that they should really go along with the Chinese ideas. And if they are going for the highway, the Chinese assistance, so why not do something even on the cyberspace with the Chinese? That could be one way.
Right. All right. Shashank, thank you for joining us. Alfan Bhatti, thank you for joining us as well. We'll take a very short